Yeah, we're back live, man. Nobody did. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. Hopping, please. Spam the W's in the chat. Spam the W's. It's been a long while, man. It's been a long while. Very busy end of the year. Extremely busy new year, and yeah, we're back again. Hopefully, consistently every weekend like this. Nobody done the I dey follow myself talk over. I hope we can revive what we had. Vamos. So there are a couple of things to talk about today. The first is the new tax law. Even though I'm talking to myself, let me continue. Hopefully you guys will join. So the first is the new tax law. So I'm going to bring in a friend of mine who's a tax expert. Let me see if he's available. Spam the W's, man. If you're here, spam the W's. W's. Spam that shit. Waiting for his reply, man. No, I'll call you. So I'm calling you. I'm calling you. My honorable. My honorable. How far?
My guy, Ralph.
How far now?
Fine, Jerry. How you doing?
I did. I side.
I'm good, my bro.
So basically, it's
How
about.
how the hustle they be now? Okay.
I'm also they throw me anyhow. Also they manhandle me, but we push her. So it's about the new tax laws, yeah. So
Okay.
we want
Okay.
some enlightenment, if that makes sense. So there are a lot of um a lot of doubts, a lot of fearfulness,
Misconceptions, right?
misconceptions. So I want to ask, what is the craziest misconception you've heard, and is it true or not? Before I start asking my questions.
Okay. Okay. The craziest misconception I've had is that there's a new tax law. That's the craziest misconception ever. When you hear from people that are working in the field, because
Okay.
I would say confidently that um less the minor adjustment, because they are just minor adjustment. What is existing now were things that have been existing since 2007, 2021, 2004, and all. They were already existing. So they are not new things. So all what they just did was that there were a lot of acts, there were a lot of laws that were created for generating revenue, which was not really making sense. A lot of revenue agencies. So what they did now is just to harmonize them, bring them into a central, from a point of view, central focus where they know that, okay, this is the main revenue generating agency. So whatever comes here is whatever we are having as a federal government. So that's what brought about the transition from FRS to NRS. So that's basically what NRS was created for, harmonizing all the tax laws, all the revenue acts, all the revenue generating acts, just bringing it into one. And also expanding the scope a little. Like I said, minor adjustment. So, I mean, okay, for example, formally it was, okay, I would say as far back as, I can't really remember the year, VAT was formally 5%, but I think at 2007, it was increased to 7.5%. But that's not really what I'm talking about here. What I'm trying to talk about is the issue of the turnover. So previously, as a tax consultant, tax expert, previously the turnover for you to be taxed was 25 million. Now it has been increased to, I'll say, roughly 100 million in the NTA, and the NTA, I think it's around 50 million with
What is NTA?
250 million worth of assets. But that one is very tricky because it usually doesn't, when you have 250 million assets and 50 million turnover, it's very rare. So basically, you're saying approximately 100 million is the turnover for you to be taxed. So you can see that there's a lot of people that would actually like be relieved of being taxed. So all you have to do is just file and they won't be taxed. So that's the misconception basically, is that this tax law is a new tax law. Tax law has been existing for let's say 10 years back, almost 20 years. Some laws have been there since 1994 that they've just been updating. So
Okay, you said
that's
NRS, the new agency, is a combination of different agencies. So me, I thought it was just FIRS that they turned to NRS.
Okay, so let's put it like this, right? So there were a lot of revenue generating agencies before, which were basically working in different sectors. Let's say JAM is a revenue generating agency. We have MPA, we have NIMASA, we have we have AUPRC, we have NNPC, we have a lot of revenue generating
so
agencies.
you mean like, for example,
so like they are very much.
So you mean like NIMASA, for example? You know NIMASA is for maritime something. So you mean NIMASA will not be collecting money again? So all the money will be going to NRS now. Is that what you mean?
Okay. So for now, with my research and all, we've not really known how these things would work. So for now, I can't buttress on that. But one thing I know is that all money coming in for the federal government is coming in and to be in the account of the NRS, Nigerian Revenue Service.
Okay.
So instead of, I think I was going through some of the updates from federal government last year, and I got to realize that all these agencies, they remit direct to the federal government, to the Ministry of Finance. They have a way of paying after they deduct your cost of collection. They have a way of paying their money to Ministry of Finance account. Mr. Wale Duanko. So I think they're trying to stop that now. They want it to be centralized under NRS. Like I said earlier, that whatever NRS bring is what they are having as a government. So they don't want you pay this on, you pay this on, you pay this on. They're trying to streamline all the revenue into one body, which is the NRS. So the way they want to do that with other revenue generation agencies, I don't know. They have not really had any information regarding that.
Okay, thank you so much. So I also want to ask, another misconception that I've had is the tax that they want to tax the poor, that there's higher VAT, value added tax, there'll be higher, the food prices will be higher, POS charges will be higher, many different things like that. Are they true?
Okay, regarding that, right? So let's say my knowledge on this is limited, but I can guarantee you that whatever I say, it's still it's somewhat correct. So let's say on POS. Let me start from POS. So the way POS operates is, anything that has to do with monetary regulation, it's down to CBN. So CBN has been doing a lot of adjustment, a lot of regulations, a lot of rules to actually regulate the physical and financial industry. So it's the same reason why they are saying that they are increasing some money that they use to these banks needs to pay whenever they want to start or something like that they pay as insurance in case they fold up, and as a government you are meant to protect your people. So they are also regulating the POS people. But one thing I can say is POS people, the money they operate as POS is not what they are meant to open an account, but they are registered with banks.
Bad boys, I'm fine. You want to kill me, dummies?
So I'll say literally now, POS are illegal.
Dummies.
I'll say literally now. So now that you said something like that before POS, that they want to tax the poor and all. So according to now, I'm also a learner. So according to tax experts that are still longer in the industry, so the issue about the noise about the tax, blah blah blah, is not really taxing the poor, because if you look at it very well, the pay system we were operating, let's say before these tax laws, before it was harmonized, was actually like the width was expanded, right, for the poor people. When I say the poor people, was formerly it was around 500,000 before you are being taxed. I think 500,000. Now it's 800,000. Now before you can be taxed, you have to. The only issue is that we've had inflations in the country. Things are dollar rate has like times 3. So this money are not of value to people any longer. But when we look at it also, is the way we operate in this country is not proportional to the rate of dollar. Not everything is proportional to the rate of dollar. So we basically, you see some people doing pepper, they will tell you dollar has increased, that's why they are increasing their own tomato price, which actually is not. It's just the way Nigerians are, where we tend to take opportunity of I think I'm muted, right? I'm muted.
No, I can hear you. I'm hearing you.
Okay. When we take opportunities of things and in Nigeria, so basically, there is a ripple effect in all these things, because dollar rise, the price of the increase in petrol price and PMS price and all. So, but the main purpose of this tax law, and I'm very sure it is the payee that's actually affecting people, because a lot of people were not really brought into tax nets, because the system we were operating before was not really capturing people that earn so much. It's only people that they have records for. And as Nigerian system, we all know our government, they are not really operating up to the world, how to what developed world is at, let's say, digital level. So that is what they want to do now. They want to integrate a lot of up-to-date digital platforms into their systems, where it will capture people that are meant to pay tax and are not paying tax. Let me tell you this for free, right? The people shouting that they want to tax, they're actually people making money. Right? And if the government decides to be hostile, I promise you a lot of people will go to jail, because these things are there. People don't care. I remember when I was in uni, right? One of the limitations of the Constitution that we learned was ignorance. I'll tell you for a fact, when you go to the court of law, ignorance is not an excuse. So if the government has to be hostile today and not probably carry people and develop technologies that would actually capture people, a lot of people will go to jail, and there's because when you look at the tax law, I think if you don't pay tax, you are liable to fine or 3 years imprisonment. You don't go back out. When you get to tax law, the government that has police, that has a gun, and they carry.
And they go back tomorrow, so.
But of course, we just criticize the government anyhow, and we don't know. Even if
you come back there on video,
governments are not doing up to what they are meant to be doing, right? But there are still some places where I would say they are not just irrational, right? But still, people might say how would I put it? I'm supporting the government. I'm not supporting the government. Because the rules are there, and when these rules are there, when you go to countries like UK, that they jail people for tax fraud and all, So we compare these countries to ourselves, and they uphold the rule of law. But yeah, everything just flexible where you can go around your way and all. So this tax law is not taxing the poor. It's actually like relieving the poor off. Yeah, it's relieving the poor off taxes. You understand? Okay, for example, now JTB, they are now Joint Revenue Board. Hello. I say something.
I hear you. This guy agrees to you. Honorable.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
My bro.
How's it going now?
So can I continue?
Yes, boss.
I'm fine.
I'm sorry, and he just a kill us. Go.
So, okay, for example, now in the old tax law, there's something they call bicycle tax. I mean, why would you tax people that are riding bicycle? You see, it doesn't make sense. So these are the things that they removed from the tax law just to avoid taxing the poor. Because of course, in our current system, when you are riding bicycle, trust me, you're not a rich person. You are next to even people that are still okay will decide to work and ride bicycle. So no offense to people that ride bicycle. So where was I going? I was going to a case where I said that now the joint tax board, which was formerly joint tax board, now joint revenue board, they sent out a memo, right, saying all roadsides, all blockages, all these people that just stand on the road and collect money from people should stop. Nigerians as we are, our government, they are not stopping. So now there is a framework that is sent down to all states, and I think at the moment probably up to 10 states has adopted it, has harmonized it. So you might not really know, other states I think it has harmonized it, National has harmonized it, where they want them to stop all these. We are collecting revenue from local government generating their own revenue, state generating their own revenue. Because when you look at it, there is no sense in local government generating their own revenue, saying they are collecting money from all these tricycle people. Doesn't make any sense. Because when you look at the way the government tax companies and individuals, all the money goes up to the federation account and they share the money back to these people at a lower percentage. I'll tell you for free, PPT, petroleum profit tax, about something percent goes to the state government. And you know how much tax goes on to this fuel of a thing. You understand? So even VAT, that is like highest, that brings highest money into the government account. I think around more than there's something called variation. I think there's a sharing pattern about like I think up to 50% or maybe more than that a little goes to the state government also and goes to the local government. So the money that they are collecting from people, of course, are still coming back to them. And they go ahead and say they want to generate their own revenue and still tax people. So there's something in the tax community that it's a constant work where they work towards preventing double taxation. So that double taxation also reminds me of the current system of people that work remotely, where they work with when they work in Nigeria and also work when they work in Nigeria, but their workplace maybe where they are working from is another country. So there's something they call double taxation. Now those people will be taxed, right, based on payee level, right? So in a case where they are being taxed in other countries, there's a way they are meant to record that or have proof of that and bring to the taxman and say, oh, we've paid so and so percentage of tax. Let's say one of the countries abroad overseas, and there's a calculation that is behind that. I'm sorry, I know there is, but I'm not of the know yet of that. Probably maybe in my next session I'll be able to broaden the explanation on that, where they will substitute the normal tax you are meant to pay. There's a way they do balance it, and if you are meant to pay any other money, you'll be paying, and if you are not, then you're satisfied. But I'm sure that calculation is more of taxing them here because they know. I think they have this valid information that people working remotely they don't get taxed enough there with the international tax treaty regulation, because there's an international tax treaty where a lot of countries comes together to decide on, okay, how can we solve this issue of double taxation And also, the National Tax Treaties also are these are treaties that it's like an organization where they decide on this free trade zone, blah blah blah, where they are in their sections they call FTZ, free trade zone. So there's a way they also tax them also. So these are the things that this ITT solves. These are disputes they solve. So currently, the government is not trying to tax the poor; they are taxing the rich more, and it's also with a little percentage. But I'll tell you also that a lot of people are not in the tax bracket, and it's more of a tax evasion. And when you are evading tax, it's a criminal offense. And you know how criminal offense is meant to be treated: jail or fine. So that's the update on that. That's my submission on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So the last thing that I really want to ask that's really bothering people, or maybe another misconception is, they say they forged the tax law. They say the tax law is forged. That there are like 4 different versions. Even KPMG released a statement saying there's a lot of.
Can you come again? Can you come again?
Okay. Right now.
Can you come again? Can you come again? Like come again. I didn't hear you.
Okay. I was saying like there are a lot of misconceptions with the tax law. So I think the last one that I want to talk about is, people say they forged the law. That like there are 4 different versions of the law.
Okay.
And another thing is KPMG. I think they released like a statement saying that there's a lot of inconsistencies with the tax law and everything. Yeah.
So one thing I know, one thing I know about anything that is like the tax law being forged. So because I follow the legislative process of the country, because I have this deep interest in it, because these people are literally deciding our life in this country, where they decide on what laws are they doing. So I really like add this deep interest in them to know, okay, what do you people want to use my life to do? So following that, and also listening from the side of the presidency, I think the last thing I know that I had was a committee was set up, a joint committee from the House of Representatives and the House of the Senate was set up, full of people that are chairing this, like we call them stakeholders because they are chairing the committees that affect this tax law, the fiscal part of the country. So they set up a committee and they said they want to go into investigation, right? So I mean that was around that, it was not like mid-December that they did that, and currently they've not really come out, because I remember it's one guy, Dugara, this House of Rep member, that came out and say that what was gazetted was different from what they deliberated in the House. So what those committee, upon their investigation, they've not really come out and say it has been forged. They didn't come out and say it has been forged, because also the chairman of the Fiscal Reform and Tax Reform and Fiscal Committee, Mr. Tayo Edele, let me use Mr. because I think it's a prof. So Mr. Tayo Edele said that he's also expecting them to reach out to him, because he said it's more like a problem in transmission, that he himself, because we deal with papers. If any of you remember, or maybe you have the experience of when Mr. President was signing the law, it was more like a fiscal paper that he signed into law. So he said, even if Mr. Tayo really said, even if there was a problem, or maybe the tax law was forged, or what was gazetted was wrong, that one, thank God that they've set up a committee to investigate, that is expecting a report from them to know, okay, what happened, where it happened. Also, he said he does not know anything about it if it has been forged, because he knows that it was what the president assented to, that they worked on and gazetted. So he's saying that even if there is a forged tax law, it's going to be between them in the National Assembly, what they transmitted to the presidency. That is what, and he said that nobody has time to start going through the law, because there's a lot of process, a lot of people in between, where before it gets to them. So whenever the problem might come, we should be between National Assembly and the office of the president. But he knows from his own end that what he gazetted was what the president assented to. So that's the issue of, and to date, the committee have not come out and said anything negative about the tax law that was gazetted because they have undergone the investigation. So, one of our problems in this country is media. The media carries a lot of rumors. Yeah, they say there's an ounce of truth in rumors, but majority of the time they don't have a solid proof to these rumors. You understand? So, I've forgotten the second question.
That's the entire question actually. So it's and the
Okay,
second part
so
of the question was about
yes,
KPMG saying there's a lot of inconsistencies with the tax law.
so KPMG. So on the part of KPMG, I mean, I'll try to be diplomatic here. So yes, KPMG are a big four. They are a multinational companies. PwC is a multinational company. EY is a multinational company. They call them big fours. Like we talk about it when we see when we do see, we talk about the big fours. So KPMG, from what I have read so far and from their submission, I believe that they have a point from what they are saying. So, I mean, they are humans. There is nobody that is perfect. You understand? So, what they said, what they came out and said, I'm sure if you guys are following the media, after they did that media run, they went to the office of the chairman of the National Revenue Service to have a meeting with him, and they came out again. You can see their comments when they came out that they are sorry, you did not mean click. So that was what they were meant to do before their media run. So they were meant to point out, because even after the tax laws, the way it operates, after the tax law has been maybe created and accepted to, NRS themselves, formerly FIRS, have a way of regularizing whatever errors might have happened, whatever bottlenecks they might be facing, because they throw out memos that will tell them, okay, because those memos are also available to the public. I don't know. Unfortunately, they brought down the FIRS
website.
the portal, the former FIRS portal, now it's NRS. If you go on the FIRS portal, you see a lot of memos that shows how the service is operating, how they are taxing VAT, how they are taxing withholding, and they upload on regular basis and even throw out on their, I think, on social media once in a while, on how they want to tax, how they want to operate each taxes. So this is what will still go on at the after they've harmonized tax law, because I'm sure I mentioned something about the tax act. There is 50 million with 250 million worth of assets, fixed assets, and also in another tax law there is 100 million as turnover for you to be taxed. So there's still going to be some memos that will be rolled out by the service to ensure that these bottlenecks are not because a lot of record amongst us consultants are taxing. So they know along the line they will solve these issues. So don't forget also, I mentioned some people, they call them the Joint Revenue Board now. The Joint Revenue Board is a very strong pillar when it comes to tax in the country. Right? So this Joint Revenue Board is the combination of the apex tax representative in each state, because each state also have their own apex tax representative. We call them the State Inland Revenue Service. So they are the ones that tax people in states. So these heads in each of these states, including the FCTA, they all come together to form the Joint Revenue Board. So everybody has a way of tabling their problems, their troubles that they are encountering in administrating tax in each of their states. And everybody, when they come together, they have their meeting. They look for your uniform problems a uniform solution to solve each problem. So I think KPMG was just too fast. They didn't really contribute, because I could see people that were criticizing that when the laws were being deliberated in the House, they never contributed, they never did anything. That why is it like that when it has been harmonized? And when you know that when they know that it's very difficult for a gazetted law to be retracted, it's always difficult when you carry in the law, it's always difficult for you to retract it back to the house because it's a long process that you now just want to retract it back and deliberate. So they should have actually done their due diligence by then, not when it has been harmonized, when there's a lot of misconception in the air, when there is a lot of tension, and they now came out and had their own. Of course, you want to trust them because they are experts in their field also, but I feel like it's a wrong move and they should have done it better.
All right, thank you so much. Like, there's literally nothing I want to ask you. Like, you've touched on all the different angles, and the last thing, I don't think it's really a thing here because even me personally, I feel the Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, he tried in that aspect. It's the publicity part of it. So people felt there was no enough publicity, there was no enough education about the tax law. But me, I feel like there was more propaganda the than the stuff because the man tried. Or what do you feel? What do you feel?
Like I said, it's more of bringing a lot of people in the tax end. So let's say for example now, what I'm being taxed in a year where I work is more than what some people pay. You understand? So we should say something where most my colleagues are what I'm being taxed, like what the government is taxing me. If I have the opportunity to hold it before I give that tax, I would have maybe 10 minds. You understand? So as a normal person, I know whatever. Okay, for example, now a lot of people at the end of the day will be taxed. Exactly the rich people, they'll be taxed millions of naira. So that millions of naira, they have like the other people that are not being taxed before. They know where they spend their money. They know the kind of investment they can run with that. So now that the system is actually bringing all of them together, and they know they'll be taxed. Of course, they will not want to apply it. They want to be against such systems. So
There's
now
no
I feel
there's
like they are the ones sponsoring the propaganda
yeah.
and ensuring that it doesn't the tax law don't see the day of light. So I feel like Mr. Taiwo has done a lot of work because he's more like a role model to me, to be honest, because the way he started it, the way he was able to implement it got to a point when they were deliberating in the house where our politicians didn't want the tax law to scale through their process. When they went to beg the president to withdraw it, I mean, he had to go to them because he was fearless. He said then that he was threatened with his life, that he had to start working with
security.
DSS, with security operatives. He went to the National Assembly and he said, okay, now tell me what the problem is, we'll work on it. They were just blabbering, they didn't say anything what the problem is. He went there, he educated them on it. He told them that this thing is more of a help to the people, not the line because the bills were passed and they were accepted to make the law. So I feel like Mr. Taiwo has done a lot of job, a lot of good job, a lot of hard work, and he's someone that is resilient. And I really took him as a model to me because I would love to see him one day. So
hopefully.
that's it. He has done a lot of job. So okay, is that all?
Yeah, there's no more question from my end, except you want to add anything.
Before I go, I would like to add something. So, the beliefs in tax law and also to ensure that they don't get to a point where it gets hard for them when the tax law starts summoning them and the tax administrators start summoning them and they are scared, So one thing is ensure you file. Walk up to for people in Lagos, I'm sure in every local government, Lagos have been able to station their offices in each local government. Some local governments have 2 stations. For it in Lagos, it doesn't joke with their money. They don't joke with these taxes. Some local government have 2 stations. So they've been able to have stations in each local government. Even the LCDs, to be precise. So walk up to them, talk to them, okay, how can I file? When you know, because there's a threshold that is actually in the public. That when you know you're going to make a transaction higher credit, we call it turnover. It's more like credit. So because before you can have a debit, there has to be a credit also. So before you can There's a 25 million turnover threshold for 3 months. So when you know that you are making such transaction within 3 months, when you know, check your history, check what you are projecting in the future. Just go to the tax man, their tax office, and tell them that how can I file my returns? Because that's one of the bottlenecks that you remove. Because if you don't file returns and they see these records in your bank account and they call you, there's something they call late returns payment. You will first pay LRP. After you pay LRP, if the tax man that has Shoko in his head that is so difficult to handle to deal with, might say you should go and pay the initial fine. I think it's around 200,000, or maybe you should go and do 3 years in jail. So avoid these issues and also utilize the threshold. Also, again, the most important thing is utilize these reliefs in the tax law, which are the rent relief, the National Health Insurance Scheme, the Pension Commission, and the NHF, National Housing Funds. This, I'll tell you for free, this work has been done on them from the House of Assembly, from National Assembly, over the past years, 2 years, a year ago, on how to restructure this agency. I would say that they were working efficiently before. They were not working efficiently. But a lot of things have been done. Okay, how do we operate? So they have their own system of operating, which is actually beneficial. They have their programs, they have what you can do, and which is of benefit to people. People don't know. So, for example, let's say they are contributing to the National Health Insurance Scheme. Trust me, the National Health Insurance Scheme, you have the opportunity to have to take your top-class medical care from top hospitals, for example, Lagoon Hospital, let's say Evercare, because they are all under the insurance scheme tax bracket. Not saying that there's something that you're using your money to do. When you pay there, it's even by that you'll be driven to say, okay, let me go to the top hospital, let me use my insurance scheme whenever maybe I probably don't have any health issues. So it's like a pool of contribution where, okay, when it's your turn and the person is not feeling too well, go there, go to Lagoon, go to Reddington, go to Evercare. These hospitals are all registered under NHIS, and they are good. You receive top care at a discounted rate because you are contributing into that pool. NHF also, they have their means of actually loaning out people money to build houses, to buy apartments and all. So it's not limited to the federal government houses. So when they know your contribution is coming in on a steady, they have their programs at which they can loan you money to buy houses and you pay along the line. Also pension. Pension is, at the end of the day, there's something they call annuity payments, there's something they call, actually pension is quite broad. So when you contribute there, there's something I know about pension, that whenever you're contributing now, there's a way you can go to pension and receive that money back as payment. You understand? So there's a way you can contribute, maybe when you contribute certain money for maybe some years, probably maybe 3 years, you can start to receiving those money back as salary along the line as you are contributing, receiving back as salary. They have a program like that, and in the tax law, pension is not taxable. So if you have maybe if you run your program well, you are receiving probably, let's say, 500K as payment from pension per month, right? It is not taxable. It is not picked as a taxable income. So it's like the way you are contributing money to it is the same way your money is coming back, and it will be taxable. So people don't really know these things. So knowledge is key. And there is more to what I have said. I'm sure there's more to what I have said. Even me don't know. Nobody knows all. You understand? So that's all I can say. People should just ensure they use these reliefs very well. They should utilize this very well.
Wow. Thank you so much, man. Like, it has been so fun, man. Thank you so much for coming and for your knowledge.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on this show.
Thank you so much, my G. Now we go there line now. Thanks so much.
All right now.
Peace out. Thanks. Bye-bye. Wow. Like, we use almost 40 minutes talk about tax law. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Spam the dubbies, man. Spam the dubbies. Spam the fucking dubbies. So it's been crazy. It's been crazy. A lot of knowledge. Lot of stuff, man. Boom. Our father. Let's do this one first. So the thing I want to talk about next is Mika first. This one I don't say the matter no concern me, but we are stuck. I found the dummies. So now, so it was this stuff that was trending earlier this week. This child deck stuff. So there's this guy. I didn't know him before today. So he was trending on Twitter. He joined Child Deck as brand designer. So the tweet almost 700 views. So like it was a topic on this day and like 2 or 3 days after safe. So people were hyping him saying Basala is a badass designer, is this, is that. So even one of my guy was posting it on WhatsApp that like this guy must be like one of the goats of like product design in the Niger tech space. So gbas. I'll be looking at the tweets one after the other, sha. So this tweet, I saw this tweet said adding Obasola to that Avengers-esque child deck design team is the greed the Bible wants about. So people are dropping their 2 cents, Then I saw this one. So not only this tweet, so people are now saying, oh, the guy's cooking already. They can't prove it. Like the designs that Chadwick was bringing out, like saying that the guy they cook him. So back and forth, So now waiting on the course while be this. So this girl to drop her 2 cents. She said, like to look like a disrespect to the design team that's already in Chowdeck and stuff like that. So somebody from Chowdeck now quoted that the guy has deleted the tweet now. So the two was kind of mixed and kind of disrespectful. He said use the code on Blood to like unnecessary, but he has deleted it. So everybody was dropping their 2 cents. Me, I dropped my 2 cents too. Then Badmus to the drop his and they dragged him gone. Almost 600 kVs. So I'll come back to all these things. Okay, this is where we are at now, basically. So me, I feel okay. I think this is where I'm going to. So this guy said tech bros they suck up, but me I feel like there's difference between sucking ECMO and praising somebody's work. Of course, people were dragging the guy's private parts, but a lot of people were praising him. Like it just shows that if you are very good at what you do, like people shall praise you, and I think that's what a couple of people did. And you know really to go far like that. Even myself, I love people that are very good, like that are good at what they do, and I don't hesitate to praise them when if need be. So there's also like crossing the line at that because I was now saying to it, I don't because me I love minding my business, so I don't really want to talk too much. But of course there were tweets like that I felt like people were doing too much, and I also felt like this guy was doing too much, but I felt this tweet was not doing too much, but they dragged down bad. It's also funny. Let's go through some of the tweets. So this one shall drop in insults, yeah. And one thing about the design community, they can be toxic too. So I know, like, right from time they drag themselves gone. But it's fun, Sha. It's fun. I just feel like it's okay to praise somebody. And I think this lady, she had a valid point. Like, I don't know how the team culture is there, Sha, but it's not cool giving somebody's credit to another person, if that makes sense. But I think they are cool with it. They don't. I think the design team at Child, they don't have any problem with it. So nobody should have any problem with it at the end of the day. But congratulations to the girl and congratulations to everybody that is involved. I just wanted to touch on that. It didn't really concern me, but I just felt it's not bad. It's not bad to praise people. And I think it's kind of something, especially in the tech community, for example. And I think I've had these discussions with a couple of people also. You, like, for example, you might help somebody offline. You might help them. For example, a friend of mine, she was saying like she helped people prep for interviews, sleepless, they took part of her time, late nights. They were scared. She gave them confidence. She prepped them possible questions. They went for the interview. They passed. Then they got the job. Of course, most time you don't know when the person gets the job. You just hit on LinkedIn. So now seeing it on LinkedIn, the appreciation list go long, but you will help them prep and make that stuff a success. You know, go see your name there. You'll be seeing like the name of industry OGs, like top people in the industry that don't even have that person's time. So people love farming. So this thing, that's why it was kind of funny to me because I have first-hand experience. Of course, I'm a nobody at the end of the day, but at least I've helped a couple of people, and I'll still help. It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't take anything from me or add anything to me. Just the good side of you helping people. So once you help somebody, if they tell you thank you, okay, that's good. And if they want to say thank you in public, because you are not a big name, like you understand what I mean, like that big name that will give them clout, that if they gum body with you, you understand what I mean. So they now start tagging those industry OGs that don't even know them. Maybe they just had one or two conversations in the DM, and those people just nag them motivation. Do it, keep going, you make it. Back. Say, thank you, ma'am. I'm so motivated. Thank you, sir. I'm so motivated. Now all those things that they like, so they will come quote down and say, I remember when I texted this person and they gave me this motivation. Bah, you motivated me. B. But did they actually help you? Were they hands-on with you at the end of the day? So people that were hands-on with you, your colleagues or people that are just a little step above you that actually helped you to get to where they are at, to get to their level. You know, go give them credit because say they know be big name. So that thing is very, very common. Because, but you, what do you have to say? Say you can't go quote the message or go tag the message. Say, I help you. Why did you not tag me? It doesn't make sense. So you just mind your business and keep helping people that need help when the time comes. So the same thing with this year. That's why I think that upon sucking something the 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 stuff that they're talking about is so fucking real because everybody has first-hand experience one way or another. You've seen people that you've helped that they will never acknowledge you. They will rather acknowledge the you the industry OGs that people know that don't really have their time, that are using motivation to kill them. So let's just continue. I don't want to talk too much. Me person, me person don't go talk too much. So that's it, Sha. That's my own 2 cents. They'll be using the chat. Today's stream down, they go, we soon finish. So I think another thing happened a couple of weeks ago. So I think I posted this tweet. I said cyber security go whine you, but now you know go panic. My guy come Ibadan, come Lagos in search of greener pastures. You see, say the salary where they give him, be like say they use and wine on me. You don't go back Ibadan, go start fish farming. Somebody shout power. I can drop this adequately good lyrics. The grass is greener and the other side. That's what I thought before I took you right. But that's not even why I'm showing this tweet. Now some two clowns will come under this comment section. I won't even show. We'll read them. Hey, nah, them be this. So this one said the post no make sense to amateur. I was like, oh, of course, everybody has difference of opinion. Let's see where the post is leading to. So he's not saying still wrapping my head, blah blah blah. Except, of course, I'm not the said guy. I even have to clarify that, not because of this, because of another tweet. Say I'm stylishly advertising my new business. So they can't continue. They can't continue. Say, are you also in cybersecurity? A newbie do? Okay, let's connect, dog. Fucking hell, man. Shut the fuck up. Talk about comment section to new disconnect. You are not well. You say, I don't understand. You know if you understand, D. You know if you understand. You know if you understand. Vagabond. See their head. Also, finally, there's this Keegan Tech video that I saw. Like, really, I didn't really watch it. I think I bookmarked it. I wanted to watch it later. No, I didn't have time to watch, but I was seeing comments about it, and the thing is really sad. I think let me show it. Let me show this stuff. So let's watch it together.
I've been creating content in this space since I believe the third quarter of 2022, and it's been genuinely fun. Like, I've enjoyed most of it, almost all of it even, until recently. I believe this year I fell sick, very sick, to the point where I was completely confident I was going to die. I even executed my last will.
Wow, completely confident I was going to die. That's crazy.
Testament. That's how bad it was. I was sure it was done, right? This is going to be the first time I'm actually speaking about this on my platform, my sickness and all of that. And I remember that my doctors and nurses were calling me stubborn because I refused to stay, what's that thing called? Admitted. And I actually moved the hospital into my home, and I was being treated in this offices, actually. The second office, I remember we made like a makeshift drip thing where we used the C-stand and we'll hang the drip, and I'll just sleep on the orthopedic bed that was on the floor, and then I'll just take my drips and get knocked out. And I was doing that for several weeks. Some days I took as many as 19 injections. It was insane.
Bruh. 19. That's crazy.
Anyway, ever since I came back from that, I've been trying to find the love for content creation again, especially in this space. And it's just not there anymore, right? It feels like a chore now. It feels like work, which kind of defeats the purpose of doing this stuff. This used to be like an escape. It was a really, really nice hobby that I enjoyed participating in, because I just needed something to keep me busy outside of my actual work. And for a lot of people who don't know this, I am the head of a very important family. And unlike most people who say that, if you don't do it, somebody else will do it, life will go on if you die, whatever, blah, 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 blah. unfortunately, the story is not the same for some of us. For some of us, if we don't do it and something actually happens to us, a lot of people are going to suffer. Many people might even die because we died. So it has become incredibly obvious to me that my priorities need to shift. And I think I made a joke in a video on TikTok once about how, because I didn't die, now I'm going to have as many wives as possible and impregnate as many women and this and that. To every lie joke, there's a bit of truth. And yes, I do intend to reevaluate where I'm at mentally when it comes to that, settling down, having kids, things like that, how many kids I want to have. The point of this entire video is to just tell you that, I've always said it in the past that a time was going to come when I would delete all my social media and just disappear from your radar. You'll probably never see me again. And it feels like that time has come now, right? I am genuinely just done with creating content in this space. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't have any love for it. I don't have any interest in it. I'm just done. So immediately after I'm done recording this video now, we're gonna dismantle this desk and take it somewhere else. I think I'm gonna turn this room into a walk-in closet or something. I don't know. Whatever I feel like doing. I have introduced you guys over the last couple of months to some new content creators, Zion and Olumide. They're great. I'm sure the lovely people at Extra Space would introduce you to even more people. And those people are also going to do great things and you're going to enjoy their content. Do your best to support them. Consider that my final gift to you guys. But one thing I do know is nobody can take away what we achieved in the last 3 years, I believe. If you've seen any tech content creators on TikTok or Instagram in the last 3 years that you love and you follow, you know that I'm the reason why they started to do that content. I did that shit first. I am their top G. The reason why you have them.
Even in his final moments, he's still braggadocious. I love it, man. Final moment, like final video, not final moments.
Is because I walked first. So now they can run and fly or whatever it is they're doing. You don't have to like it. It's the fact. I did it first. This has been great. If you, for whatever reason, have saved any of my videos in your drafts or whatever, and you would like to keep those videos because they're important for school or whatever, my advice is that you download them. I'm a crazy person. I might wake up on Monday morning and decide to just delete all my accounts. I'm also still considering just leaving the accounts there and abandoning them. I'm still talking to my team on what the best way to move forward is, but I just thought it would be smarter for you, if you need those videos, to just download them and please keep them. I'm sure they can still be useful for you as you go into graduate school or postgraduate or whatever, do your master's, your PhD. Thank you for supporting me all these years while I created content in this space. But this is, as a matter of fact, the last video that I'll be making in this studio.
In this studio. In this studio. Will you come back in another studio? I don't know.
This is a bit sad. Anyways, best friends, you're welcome.
Herniated disc in spinal cord. 2 failing kidneys. Both kidneys. That's crazy. It might not come in another studio. Bruh, this is This is sad. Nah, I still dey. Almost done, sha. Eh? My guys, thank you for hopping in, man. Love you guys. As usual. Thank you so much for hopping in. No network issues today, so it suits me die. So until next week. Ciao ciao. Bye bye. Yep.